going on, Jackson? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's up, y'all? What's going on? Hope everybody doing alright. Today was I got a little late start. Not too much. Just trying to kind of looking at a lot of different things, looking at a lot of different uh, things that's going on around the world. A lot of things going on in the local. Kind of doing some reading and trying to, I guess, you know. So I said, let me kind of look at things from a broader aspect of things, because I ain't gonna lie, I'll be learning a lot of different stuff. I'm just right now. I'm in the process of learning uh, some this database program called PostgreSQL, and hey, look, that's me. I just want to learn as much as I can, but but yeah, yeah, that's kind of what I was doing, this morning, early this morning. I've been up since about 4, and sometimes you got to get up early in order to get that fresh start, so you can learn everything that you need to learn, and do what you need to do, whatever, wash your face and all that kind of stuff. But but I hope everybody had a I hope you had a good night's sleep, because you know it's gonna be another, I guess, another hot and humid one today, according to the weather reports, so. And I just kind of try to stay hydrated, and if you're working outside in the sun, hey, listen, stay hydrated and stay safe, so. But anyway, yeah, I kind of was like looking at this thing with with your president. No, I was looking at this thing with Donald Trump and Iran issue. They had been, constantly, talking about that. I guess they didn't have anything to talk about either, except for some stuff that happened in the past, and stuff that down at the courthouse and all that kind of mess. Hey, look, listen. So I guess that they, but anyway, I was looking at this thing with Donald Trump and Iran, how they was doing some attacks and all that kind of stuff. I'll tell y'all something. You know it just like I know it. Your president, he ain't telling some stuff, and the way he was like kind of, I don't know. I might be reading too much into it, but I think that Joker is being told what to say, because that nuclear weapon thing came up with Iraq when George Bush to the second power was in power, and that's the reason why he went in and they got it Saddam Hussein. Remember that? That's when they got at Saddam Hussein. Let's keep that a buck here. I remember that cat came and did one of them press reports, whatever. I don't know. I don't know if it was some type of I don't know if it was the yeah. It was like a press report, and he came and leaned on that thing just like this. He leaned on it like he was talking to a homeboy or something. And he said, and this I'm talking about George Bush. That's all George put to the second power. He said, "I will not be deterred." He said, What if he have one? What if he have one weapon? What if he have one? I'm like, a nuclear weapon weapon of mass destruction, all that kind of mess. That's what he was on. So Donald Trump on the same mess, and I'm like, why? And he said he don't give a ding dong about the economy. He don't care. He said all he care about is if Iran has a nuclear weapon. Now, let's keep that a buck here. If Iran was such tyrants, don't you think they would have dropped that bomb? They'd have dropped that bomb already. or they must have some type of intelligence or whatever the case may be. But I don't, man. Look. Let me tell y'all something. That's a distraction to what's really going on. I'm gonna tell you why I know because I was reviewing something. I don't know when it was dated, but I was reviewing something, and he had like one of the press conferences in the White House, and somebody kind of recorded him, and that thing came on the YouTube feed, and it was talking about how now they took over Venezuela, right? And then everybody saying, well, they want the resources, this, that, whatever, whatever. But Cuba, see, it's something going on with Cuba. I think he's trying to acquire Cuba because he had been talking about Cuba because he said Cuba depends on Venezuela and some of their resources. So what made sense to me was that, well, okay, well, if I want this country and this country is dependent on certain resources, then I'm going to attack that country. So that'll shut off that country's resources. And guess what they're going to have to do? They're going to have to come to me for the resources. You see? And then I'll make a deal. Then they're going to have to make a deal with me. You see? See, it's always something. It's like, it's never one thing, one type of an agenda that goes on. We may think that, but it's not. It's like 3 or 4 things, maybe 5 things at one time. That could be true. Something else something else in the mix with that Iran stuff. I don't care what nobody say. Hey, look, this is my opinion. But I think there's just something going on. Something else is going on. Something else is going on that they're not saying. But it's all gonna come out the wash. Russia and Ukraine can't get it under control. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, come on, man. And see, like I said, you sit there. We sit here and we sit here as Americans sitting here watching that box, and we listen to what those newscasters is telling us, which is on a prompter, and they're told what to say anyway. But at the end of the day, do you really know what's going on over there? Do you really, really know what's going on over there? Because when I used to be a truck driver, and I used to go way up there by Niagara Falls, New York. And when I'd be going up there like they're on Interstate 80, and all the way up, be way up there. And a lot of Canadian drivers be coming down and they be conversating, and I'm telling you, they be on some. They be telling the truth, and see a lot of stuff they be telling. They ain't gonna say it on YouTube or no other platform or local news or wherever. They're not gonna. They was talking about a lot of different stuff, and I just sit there and listen. You know what I'm saying? Because like, well, dang man, I didn't know that because like I said, they get what I guess we don't get. They probably get it from another source. You see. But I'm telling you, it's something more to it than just what they saying. It's something more to it. It's just like stuff on a local level. It's just something to it. Just like with the mayor, and come on, man. Look, for me, I'm gonna just keep it a buck. They got something going on. And look, I'm gonna say this. Let me say this. For the betterment of the city, I really hope and pray that I'm wrong. I really hope and pray that I'm wrong. I hope I'm just, looking too much into it. I hope that's what this is. But I'm seeing something else. I just can't put my finger on it. I like how like they used to say, the older folks used to say back in the days, something ain't right. It's just something ain't right. You don't know what it is, but you know, and you can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but like they also say, it's gonna come out the wash. It's gonna come out the wash, and that's the same thing with this thing with the president. President, all this stuff. Look, it's all gonna come out the wash because everybody got a boss. Everybody sitting around here thinking Donald Trump is this expendable type person that he is. He has this oligarchy thing going on, this, that, whatever, and everything like that. But all that's even a distraction because everybody got. If you're in that position, if you're in any position, whether you're in the Congress, Senate, whatever, House, whether you're the president of the United States of America, whether you the mayor, whether you the governor, whether you are the attorney general, it don't make no difference. You got a boss. You ain't calling the shots by yourself. Ain't nobody. You're not sitting there and saying, who can I pick on next? Man, that stuff with Iran was already in the make. Man, that stuff with Iran was already in the make. That stuff with that Pearl River, that was already in the make. That was in the make before John Horn became mayor. All that stuff was in the make. I'm telling you, y'all better open up y'all better open up your eyes and see what I'm saying. All that stuff was already in the make. It ain't something that these jokers just conjured up. They just didn't conjure this stuff up like to make these certain changes. Then all of a sudden these data centers is talking about looking at Jackson. You got these folks coming down from South Haven because they went to court. You know what I'm saying? They want to come into the city council and speak about it. If they ain't have, let me tell you something. If them folks up there in South Haven, I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Them folks up there in South Haven wouldn't give a damn if them data centers wasn't affecting them when it came down here. If just think about it. I think if there was a court system up there that was just as effective as the court system down here, they'd have never came to Jackson to warn us. They'd have never came to Jackson. They only came to Jackson because they was going to court. Come on. We get that information out there. But I'm glad they came. I'm just going to be real. I'm glad they came. I'm glad they did that because that information needs to be told. It needs to be told. Because, hey, it's all about money. It's all about money. You can't get no RAM sticks. The RAM sticks, RAM has gone up. And ain't none of these damn technologists is designing anything better for specifically for them data centers. All the RAM sticks for the computers is going up. I, for one, am a computer engineer. Man, please, I ain't fit to buy that. I just stick to what I have. You know what I'm saying? I'm not fit to do that. You know what I'm saying? Microsoft wants some bullshit. Well, you know the rest. Microsoft wants some bull crap. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, look, they do what they want to do. But what I'm saying is that these data centers is creating this problem. These data centers is creating these problems. With all this RAM and stuff going up like this. Cause they buying up all the RAM. They buying up all the RAM. Let me bring it down. Let me bring it down. RAM in a computer is, some of you know, some of you may not know, but RAM inside of a computer is volatile memory, right? What it does is when you cut your computer on and everything pops up, that's your RAM making it pop up, right? That's your RAM. That's what that is. That's your memory. It remembers everything that was on the computer. right? Now, your hard drive is your storage for all the information that you save. You save it into your hard drive. But that RAM is what, you know, it's like, oh, can I say it? It's like your engine in your car. Your hard drive is like your trunk storage. That's what it is, storage. You know, it's just storage. But what I'm saying is that they're buying all of that up. And a lot of these computers and stuff that a lot of computers people need, to keep their computers running smoothly and stuff. Well, they got to pay extra, just like fuel. And these data centers is buying it all up. And I'm talking about like Coursera, King, what's it called? King something, King something. But I know Coursera is one of them. Samsung, everybody that manufacture these RAM sticks, like overseas, I'm telling you, they don't want to build. They talking about they don't want to build no factory, because the thing about it is that they build a factory, and let's say, you know, they come up with a new technology, where it's going to leave them. Man, please. So what they're doing is that I think it's called Kingston, but they're buying up all the RAMs. That's the bottom line. They're buying up all the RAM, and then now those manufacturers, and they are all on backlog, and now those manufacturers is jacking up the prices. So if I was a computer engineer and I was servicing offices, I was servicing like doing a lot of office supplies and stuff, like servicing a bunch of offices, and I'm just their engineer, and let's say their computer need RAM. Hey, you gotta pay to play. You gotta pay to play. Them DDR5 RAM sticks is really expensive now. You know what I'm saying? I'm running DDR4s. You know what I'm saying? I'm still running I mean, I just think my lucky stars that they didn't, they hadn't, had nothing wrong with them. But I'm still running DDR4s. I got some older computers that run DDR3s. But I'm running Linux on them. Yeah, so, but I just, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to kind of, shoot that. I mean, but that's what these data centers is they going up with these data centers, and that's what's going on. That's what's going on. It's causing this ripple effect. It's causing this ripple effect. All this distraction and stuff. Like I said, do you really think something's going? I mean, do you really think something's going on over there in Iran? Who knows? I don't know. Hey, look, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? He's very sporadic. Donald Trump is very sporadic, and I don't know if he's told to be. I think he's told to be sporadic, because first he was talking about Greenland. Remember, he was talking about Greenland. He was talking about the folks in Greenland said we ain't having it. Then he wanted to sit down with Putin over in Russia about Ukraine. They went over there to Alaska. That distraction. Then they came with this distraction over in Venezuela, talking about folks over there with folks with boats with drugs and all that kind of mess. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man, bro. Now all of a sudden now, it's just mess with Iran. Like I said, he told what he ain't sporadic. He calculated. A cat is calculated. This man is a billionaire. His celebrity alone overpowered the presidency. That man is smart. He got people around him that's smart. Even if Just keep it a bucket. Even if he was dumb as rocks, he still told what to do. He got people around him smart. If you're the smartest person in the room, you need to get out that room. So you know he got people around him smart. Come on, man. More. So look, open up your eyes. Open up your eyes and see, and look and see what's going. It's more than what they're saying. It's more to this than what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, the Canadians know, the foreign folks know. Only people who got blinders on is the American people. But see, the American people is not that blind, because I'm gonna tell you why. You see it in your prices, in your fuel, in the trickle effects that's going on with food. Man, but local pantries is probably almost empty in some states. Come on, B. Let's keep that a buck. Because food is expensive. Food is expensive. Man, if them stimuluses that happened when Obama was finna leave out, and when he came in on the first round, if them stimuluses, if they've been made up for them stimuluses that went out. When they gave out them stimuluses that time, all that, man, what's going on now made up for them stimuluses. They made it up. It's all made up. That money was put back into the economy. And not only that, like I said, the Department of the Treasury was paid back. Let's keep that a buck. You know, because I heard a lot of stories say, well, you know, that's going to create inflations. You know, because, you know, I heard, you know, Mitch McConnell say that same stuff. You know, it's going to create inflations and this, that, and it did for a point. Psst, bruh. It ain't no more. It ain't like the inflation that's going on now. The stimuluses didn't create this. What created these inflations? We went from inflation on top of an inflation. What is that about? It's like if you ain't coming from a problem, you're in one. If you ain't in one, you're going to one. The same thing. If we was already in an inflation. We didn't even come out. And inflation came behind it and added on. Man, please. They had to come on and tacked on that crap with the fuel. Now the fuel is all jacked up. Hey. Is this going to stabilize the economy? I don't know. What? I mean, how's the economy going to get stabilized? What's it gonna take to stabilize this economy with these inflations? Let's do the math here. Let's just look. I mean, well, let me say this. You do the math. We can do the math all day. What's it gonna take to stabilize this? Is this economy stable? Because it ain't stable. It don't seem like it's stable with a stimulus, and it's ding dong sure ain't stable without a stimulus. Because it's constantly going up, and the income is not changing. Everybody's income is not changing. So I mean, what we talking about here? What we talking about here? You know, so. But that's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on. And then they constantly distracting people with this redistricting stuff. Happening all over the United States with this redistricting. It's nothing but a distraction. What is really, you need to ask yourself, what's really going on here? What's really going on here? Because just think about it. If your community is being redistricted, what is this? Is that saying that you're not going to be able to vote, or is that saying that you're going to go somewhere else and vote? What does that mean? What does it really mean? Is that saying that you're not going to be able to vote, or is it saying that you're going to have to go somewhere else and vote? Now, it's crazy if they're saying that you're not going to be able to vote, but that's not true. I don't think that's not true. I think it's just saying that you're just going to be able to get to go somewhere else and vote. But the ballot's still going to be the same when you the one that picks up the ballot. It's still going to be the same. You're going to vote the way you want to vote. But being an informed voter, don't vote willy nilly. Boy, I tell you the truth. Hey, look. They look. So my point is this. What's up? Why is it distracting? Why is this such a big distraction? Why they got so many folks in the uproar? Because folks is not going to be able to vote where they live. If you got to go somewhere else and vote, the ballot ain't gonna change. The ballot ain't gonna change. If folks is on that ballot to run for mayor or run for governor, man, just walk yourself, take the bus, go across town and vote. If there's somebody on that ballot that you want to be in office. Oh boy. See? Distractions. It's distractions. Ain't nothing but the folks got this mess, man. They got this mess. They got everybody in uproar. Now, what is it? The Southern Poverty Law Center got I don't know. They got this thing going on now with folks here in Jackson, with people with signage saying it's unconstitutional. Man, they should have been saw that mess. That folks gotta have a permit to pull up a sign. I ain't never heard no mess like that. Let me tell y'all something. When I was living in New York, I remember back in the days, former Mayor Rudolph Giuliani had stopped all of the vendors on 125th Street from selling on 125th. He was supposed to be cleaned all that mess. He so-called cleaned all that stuff up, right? And he had sent most of them to this lot. It was a vacant lot back in the days where they had buildings and stuff. They ain't even clean it off at nobody. It was still that old junky vacant lot where they knocked down a building and they didn't clean up the grounds. You still had bricks and people throwing glass and garbage and all that kind of junk. They didn't even clean it up for the people. But anyway, that's So they sent everybody down there to 116th Street and Lenox Avenue, right? All the people that was on 125th Street. So, Reverend Al Sharpton went down there on 125th Street between 7th and Lenox Avenue. And he opened up and he put a table out with books. They arrested him. But they didn't have none on him. You know why? Because that was freedom of speech. That was freedom of speech. Books is considered, that's freedom of speech. Signage is freedom of speech. Okay, if I can't talk and I need help, and I know how to write, right? I hold it up. Do I need a permit for that? Oh, the solicitation. That's what that is? Oh. Oh. Hey, I'm hungry. I need something to eat. Oh. Am I going to get a permit for that? Yo. Yo, keep that a buck, yo. Look, if I can't talk, right? Let's just say if I lose golf, if I lose my voice, right? And let's say I'm homeless, I can't talk. Freeze it, I can't talk. But and it's something that I want, and I hold up a sign. I gotta get a permit for that. Come on, man. Come on, B. Let's keep that buck. That's crazy. Oh no, no. I'm sorry. Oh, they're gonna make an exception for me. They're gonna make an exception for me. You think that ding dong jerker for police is gonna is gonna care if he a jerk? No, no. You gonna give me a ticket. So that's freedom of speech. I mean, that's all clear. That's clear crazy for them to have people have to have permits in order to do that. They say because that's solicitation. How is that solicitation? Man, I'm hungry. I'm putting a sign up. And plus, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it ain't like I'm walking over to you and saying, hey man, look, let me get $1. That's panhandling. That's panhandling. If I'm coming up to you and asking you personally, hey man, let me get $1. But I'm holding a sign up. That's a broadcast. I'm broadcasting. Ain't that like, what's that, freedom of press? I don't know. Well, look, don't look. Those are just questions. I'm sorry. That's a broadcast, though, ain't it? Ain't that a broadcast? I don't know. They're just like if I'm just thinking about this. I'm finna land my plane. Don't worry about it. I'm finna land my plane. That's just like if I had a sign and I said, car broke down trying to get to X, Y, and Z. Right? I'm putting the sign up to broadcast so folks would know. And I need a permit for that? Man, plane landed. Look, I'm going to come back on here tomorrow. Yo, I just wanted to kind of talk about some things. About what's going on here in the city. But look. But my main thing is, Jackson, open up your eyes and don't be distracted by this mess. Because there's something more going on than we know. That's all I got to say. Look. In the meantime, y'all stay encouraged. And I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.